After we cross the Bronx River, we'll be transported to Asia as if by magic. We'll be visiting animals from China to India, Cambodia to Nepal, and more. For your safety, please remain seated at all times with your hands and feet inside the car. In the event of an emergency, you can contact me using the intercom located next to the door. We have the Bronx Zoo, the headquarters of the Wildlife Conservation Society, also known as WCS. We have scientists, sneaker guards working in the field, and zookeepers working here at home to protect animals all over the world. We've now traveled over 7,000 miles into the wilds of Asia, and in this first meadow, we're on the lookout for some of our deer as well as one kind of antelope. We're going to spot a few of our back-chain deer over to the right. They're going to be real close to us as well. Please remain seated. Back-chain deer are considered as subspecies of red deer, although they're not red. They're that pale gray golden color. Native to Central Asian populations have been difficult to monitor due to political fighting in the area. Recently, WCS researcher was able to confirm that back-chain deer still exist in Afghanistan after not being seen for nearly 40 years. We've also been spotting a lot of our peafowl over here. They're India's national bird. The males are the ones called peacocks, identified by their blue necks and beautiful tail feathers. Use those tail feathers to attract the females called peahens, identified by their green necks and brown color. And scattered around the zoo, you can find some of their babies called pea chicks. This all we're passing now represents an interesting WCS conservation story.
The run.
Hi, farmers in Indonesia live closely with wild animals, like elephants, which we will see shortly. WCS field staff work with local leaders and farmers in Indonesia to come up with the Crop Root Protection Unit. This unit created many different ways for farming to continue in close proximity of wild animals. One strategy was to soak ropes in chili powder and place them around the crops. Elephants do not like chili and leave the farms alone, allowing the farmer and the animals to share the habitat peacefully.
We all know that an animal that is extinct no longer exists. Like the dinosaurs you can see in our dinosaur safari. This next animal is on the verge of extinction. In fact, the Mongolian wild horse, or Przewalski's horse, was extinct in nature. They can only be found in zoos. Recently, there have been some reintroductions of Mongolian wild horses in parts of Mongolia and China, from herds of North American and Asian zoos. What differences do you see between these horses and the domestic ones that we're more used to seeing? You may have noticed they have a stockier build, shorter legs, and an erect mane, which is missing a forelock. That's the piece of mane that goes over their forehead. And here's a note on that reintroduction effort from one of our field scientists.
I'm Jonathan Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place on this earth. My job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive together. There's Przewalski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. And on a recent trip to Kazakhstan, I thought about the ongoing and successful efforts in the country to bring these horses back to the Central Asian steppe. The world needs happy stories, to watch the impossible become possible, and to see hope restored. That's what's happening today with Przewalski's horse.
The Bronx Zoo received its first herd of Mongolian wild horses in 1902. Since then, we've had over 50 baby horses sold aboard right here at the zoo. Now, as you can see, we give our horses lots of space to roam. We have the Bronx Zoo want our animals to live happy, healthy lives, so we do what we can to provide for them. If you're ever wondering where our horses have shot out to, you can always put yourself in there and just think about it. In this next meadow, we're going to be on the lookout for a very large cat. Looks like they're hanging out towards the other end of the meadow, so we'll be seeing them in a few moments. The animal we're on the lookout for is the world's largest wild Zoo on Animal Planet. And here's the keeper, Dave, with more.
Hi, I'm Dave, a wild animal keeper here in Wild Asia. When the Bronx Zoo received 2 female and 1 male gaur from the San Diego Zoo, it took a couple of introductions before all the animals were comfortable. But after a little bit of time, the 3 new animals fully integrated into the herd, and we have the family that you see today. A family group of gaur can consist of up to 40 individuals and is typically led by an older adult female called the matriarch. Since the 2 females and 1 male have been added to this family, there have been a number of offspring. This is important because gaur are considered to be a vulnerable species, so it's vital to maintain a healthy growing herd here at the zoo.
As we practice our scientific observation skills, you might be hearing a noise coming from a concrete jungle rather than an Asian one. It's easy to forget that the Bronx Zoo sits at the heart of an urban environment. Well, the noise you may hear behind you now is traffic on the Bronx River Parkway. The fence directly in front of us is used to reduce the noise of the city traffic to keep our next animal happy, the tiger. Tigers try to provide excellent camouflage, making them difficult to spot. Tigers are so secretive, in fact, that even professional researchers have trouble finding them. Little tigers are typically solitary and live alone in the wild, which is why we'll only see one in the habitat at a time. As we look for our tiger, asking that everyone please remain seated. This is probably the worst possible spot you can fall out of the train right now. If anyone spots our tiger, feel free to point him out. We're on the lookout for our 8-year-old male ombre tiger, Anakin. There he is, towards the back middle of the meadow. Of the 2 types of tigers being exhibited at the Bronx Zoo, the lion and a moor. The moor is a larger species. Tigers hunt a variety of animals, but they prefer wild pigs and medium-sized deer. Typically, a tiger will gorge itself on a fresh kill, eating as much as 40 pounds of meat at one time. Just think, that's the equivalent of 160 quarter-pounder burgers in one sitting. After eating a meal that size, the tiger will usually not eat again for several days. If you want to see more of our tigers and see them up close, you can check out Tiger Mountain. We're coming into the back of the gaur's meadow. We're going to get a nice good look at them up there. Those impressive horns they have allow us to identify the males and females. The male's horns will be pointing upwards while the female's horns curve inwards. That's that first meadow we came to. Against the left fence, we're going to see some of our bears singing. These small animals with the solid colors and white underbellies are the black-buck antelope. The bear singer gets its name from the male piercing antlers. The word bear singer means 12 time in Hindi, and as you may have spotted, they have from 12 to 14 points. They're also known as swamp deers. They're found in the marshlands in India. The black-buck antelope are a sexually dimorphic species, meaning the males and females are different from each other. The females have a light tan brown color, while the males have a chocolate brown color with long spiral horns. This next animal blends in with the muddy area it calls home. If you see a pig with upper tusks that are rough at the top of its snout, they're curved backwards towards the sides. You found a pig called a babarusa. The fact that the tusks resemble antlers and earth must pick its name. Babarusa means pig deer in the Malay language. What might these tusks be used for? Male babarusas use their tusks to fight other males and display dominance in order to attract females. Babarusas have very little hair in their body, and their skin color allows them to blend in with the mud and rocks, making them hard to spot. The last animal may have been hard to spot, but this next animal should be impossible to miss. We're on the lookout for the world's largest land mammal, no binoculars needed. Directly in front of us is going to be our Asian elephant, Happy, and if you look all the way to the far right side, you can see Patty over there as well. African and Asian elephants are an iconic animal worldwide, but unfortunately they are struggling in the wild. The first thing you may notice about our elephants is their impressive size. Asian elephants weigh around 10,000 pounds, meaning they have to eat a lot of vegetation. For example, our elephants eat up to 200 pounds of hay each day, and they down that with 60 gallons of water. Make sure you get a good look at their trunks if you can. An elephant's trunk has 40,000 muscles in it, more than the entire human body has. And it's an incredible tool. Their trunks have a single finger-like appendage at the end of it that they can use to gently pick up a blade of grass. Or with the whole trunk they can tear off a tree branch with enormous force. Elephants get lots of personal attention here at the Bronx Zoo, including baths and pedicures. The large tree stump to the left of their exhibit is their elephant-sized back scratcher. We're now leaving our elephant zone behind and are on the lookout for another large mammal. This animal has skin that looks like armor plates, a single horn on the front of its nose, and weighs around 3,500 pounds. It looks like our greater one-horned rhinoceros is at the other end of the meadow, so I'll be seeing her in a few moments. Today, all rhinos are highly endangered. Recent estimations have the wild population at around 3,700 greater one-horned rhinoceros that survive in India and Nepal. Here in the Bronx, we care for 5 endangered greater one-horned rhinos. We've had great success with one-horned rhinos. Caring for this very rare animal is one thing, but breeding is a huge challenge. How many moms do we have on the train today? Think about this, moms. Female rhinos are pregnant for 16 months. Can you imagine being pregnant for almost a year and a half? A baby rhino will stay with its mother for 2 to 3 years, though weaning mainly takes 12 to 16 months, meaning a mother rhino doesn't have to pay for their kids' college. We've had 14 baby rhinos born right here at the Bronx Zoo. Once we get into this opening into the clearing, we're going to see our 27-year-old female rhino Penny over to the left side of it. If I describe them as armor-plated, they're actually covered in a layer of skin that has many folds. The skin is very sensitive and needs protection from the sun and from insects. One of a rhino's favorite ways to protect its skin is to sit in a mud wallow, like the one in this exhibit. The rhino we're seeing today is Penny, and she, like many of us, benefits from an added layer of sunblock that the keepers provide every day. Pretty hard to miss that sunblock on her face. If you're wondering how exactly you apply sunblock to a rhino, you can check out the full story on Animal Planet in Sydney. And here's a note on our work with another type of rhino.
The rhinos you see here are Indian rhinos. We work with habitats all over the world that are homes to rhinos. Here is a note from our field office in Sumatra, Ed Wulan, who works with the Sumatran Rhino. Sumatran rhinos are the smallest of the world's rhinos, and they are considered critically endangered.
My name is Wulan Pusparini, and I'm the Species Conservation Specialist for WCS Indonesia program. We carried out an island-wide survey of the last wild population of Sumatran rhinoceros in Indonesia. With so many unknowns on how to manage Sumatran rhinos in the wild or captivity, our study showed definitively that we must protect them at source. The cost of doing nothing could be the extinction of the species, and I can't imagine that.
In these next 2 minutes, we're going to be on the lookout for a few more hardiers. We'll avoid kind of antelope. These large animals we're finding right away are some of our no-eye antelopes, the largest antelope species in Asia. The name is a reference to the male's coloration. The word no-eye means blue in Hindi, and the males have a bluish-gray coat. Once we can see other females with that yellow-brown coat. The males will also have horns, although females do not. They have ornamental tufts of fur at the front of their neck. The no-eye prefer to eat grass, but also the leaves, flowers, and fruits and trees. They'll send on their hind legs to grass as high as possible. And if you're paying attention and saw the patterning on their feet, you may have noticed it looks like black and white socks. We'll probably see another couple of no-guys coming around. These large chocolate brown animals are the Sandbar Deer. Those little animals in the middle of the group Male Sandbar Deer took the load, while females live in small groups. The hog deer got the name because they're short and heavy like a hog. They also move like a hog. They creep, run low, and duck under things, rather than leaping over things like most other deer species would. Hog deer found in areas stretching from Pakistan to northeast India to southeast mainland Asia. This next animal is often easy to miss. At less than 40 pounds, China's tuft deer can be hard to spot. These deer got the name for the distinctive tuft of fur at the top of their head. The males have small antlers with short buck-like spikes growing on short, bony fur. They also have long upper canines, tusks you would see showing. These visible tusks earned them the nickname of vampire deer. I like to call them deer killer. These deer are quite small, only 40 pounds, and they blend in with their environment. So don't feel bad if you can spot any yourself. They're very rare in zoos outside of China. I'm just going to look again briefly. They're probably clean. We're now crossing back over the Bronx River. Thousands of commuters cross this waterway every day, but underneath the highways and our elevated tracks, the river still rushes along, providing a habitat for ducks, turtles, fish, and migrating birds. If you look carefully, you might even spot the outlines of some fish in the water. The rocky terrain in this area is the perfect environment for the next two species. They're both adapted to climb rugged mountain slopes. Identifying these animals can be a challenge, so let's first look at their horns. You've had the horns be spiraled in a corkscrew. Those are the mark horns. The ones with the very long horns and majestic beards are the male mark horn. They've been known to climb trees to reach fresh things, and they do that by taking 6-foot leaps without a running start. You might even say that the mark horn do bark horn. The male mark horn's horns come to 5 feet long, and the female's horns come to 2 feet long. If you found any animals with horns that curve directly back, those are the Himalayan tar. We have an off-female group of tar currently. These animals are relatives to wild goat, and they have special rubbery cores on their hooves which help them to grip the rocks, much like the sole of a boot. If we wanted to study these animals in the wild, we'd have to be ready to do some serious rock climbing. As we're around this bend and past this large tree next to us, we're going to be on the lookout for something red and furry below us. On the ground is our 8-year-old male red panda, Linus. People have always been fascinated by the color of their fur. In Nepal, the red panda is called Monorail, which roughly translated means fireflies. The Chinese word for red panda means small bear cat. Based on your observations, what might you have named the red panda? What animal do they remind you of? Today we know that red pandas are more closely related to skunks, raccoons, and weasels. They're not really related to the giant pandas, though they do both eat bamboo. To see more of our red pandas, you can visit our Himalayan Atlas exhibit, located just a short walk from the Monorail. Now you can also see one of Asia's big cats, the snow leopard. As around this bend, our journey is almost at an end. You've heard from some of our scientists here and in the field, and practice your own science skills along this ride. I hope you've been inspired by what you've heard and seen today. As a reminder, the Bronx is part of the Wildlife Conservation Society, or WCS. In addition to managing 5 parks in New York City, the Bronx Zoo, the Queens Zoo, the Prospect Park Zoo, the Central Park Zoo, and the New York Aquarium. WCS has scientists in the field of more than 300 sites in over 60 countries. Many of the animals that you saw here today are endangered, which means they're at risk of becoming extinct. But by being here today, you're helping us to protect these vulnerable animals. To see all the ways you can help us to protect them, visit us at bronxzoo.com. There you can join an education program, plan your next visit, or even become a member. Please remain seated. We're going to be stopping here for just a brief moment. As a reminder for your visit today, we have an excellent web-based interactive map for you to use. This map has